Hello and welcome to the Ridiculously Good VA Show with Tracy Daviero. If you are a virtual assistant or want to be one, this is the place to learn the tips and tricks you need to become a ridiculously good VA. I've been a part of the VA industry since 1998, and I'm excited to get to know you and help you build an amazing business. Let's go. Hey there, welcome to another episode of the podcast that teaches you how to be a ridiculously good virtual assistant. If you're stuck and need help moving forward, be sure to book your complimentary cut to the chase call with me so we can talk about the ways I can help you. Book your call at yourvamentor.com/chase. Today, I want to continue my celebration of sorts of reaching 100 episodes for my podcast, yay me, by showcasing my top 10 episodes. I thought that would be helpful for you. And today's quote is from Albert Einstein. Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. Let's go. When I first decided to do a podcast for you, and for me, truthfully, I did a lot of research. That's what we do, isn't it, as VAs? I knew what kind of content I wanted to provide, but was that something that you would tune in to hear every week? That's what I needed to know. And after doing 100 episodes, I can honestly say that yes, it is something you enjoy. Thank you. I appreciate every single one of you and the time that you take to learn from me. I love to teach, and I love to teach things that I know will help you. And with that, I want to actually start this episode by referring to our quote. I know I don't usually do this at the beginning. Doing it at the beginning. It's from Albert Einstein, and the reason that I chose it is that it talks about education, which is what I try to provide you with every day. Yes, I am a VA coach, but I'm a VA trainer as well. And this quote showcases what I think is so important about learning. It's not the facts you learn. People made us memorize things in high school all the time. We are learning the stuff, right? But it's realizing that you're capable of anything when you just think and ask the right questions, and then, of course, take the right action. Training the mind to think. When we learn to do that, we carve out the right path. We focus on the right things. We make better decisions, and we communicate better with the people around us. Does that sound familiar? Yep, it's all the stuff that I teach you in this podcast and in my business. So many VAs I know are voracious learners. I call myself a perpetual learner, and I think it's funny because I'm just constantly learning things. And I think it's a great quality for all of us. In the ever-changing online world, we absolutely need to be able to learn and adapt what we do and how we do it. And we also need to be willing to stay on top of trends and important stuff so that we don't get left behind the others that do. We need to be able to help other people do the same. Our clients, for one thing. There's always a new platform or app coming along that can change what we do and how we do it. The key, of course, is to monitor those things and learn only what you need to learn right now because you need to implement it. Are you implementing what you learn in this podcast every week? I know the topics are different every week. We don't always talk about the same things, and we do not go in linear fashion for sure. But if you can take just one thing from every podcast episode that you listen to and implement it into your business right now, then you have learned and you have trained your mind to think. Look at that. Einstein was right. It's the same with a book club. If you belong to a book club, I used to belong to a wonderful one called Thought Readers, and it was a business book club with my business coach. And if we the whole book was not something we needed to implement in our business every month. But if we could find one thing that made us better, I think that that's what is really, really important. All of the knowledge is important, but sometimes it's not all relevant to us. So it's important to whatever you are learning to choose that thing that is relevant to your business and be able to implement that. So today, I want to give you a shortcut. I want to showcase my top 10 episodes of the podcast so far as a continuation of reaching 100 episodes last week. I'm going to share the podcast title and a little bit of information about it. Obviously, I'm going to provide links for you so you can go and listen to the episodes. But I want to know, if you did listen to it, what did you implement from it? And if you didn't listen to it, be sure to tune in and make some notes so that you can up-level your business one step at a time. Here we go. In true David Letterman style, and yes, I'm well aware that I'm aging myself there. Some of you may never have even seen David Letterman. We'll do them in reverse order. He always started with number 10. Number 10, raising your virtual assistant rates the right way. One of the most popular topics in the VA circles is money, right? Is rates. When we start our VA business, we often struggle with confidence that anyone will even hire us. And we don't know how to talk about money. Nobody taught us that. And somehow it's something that we think we should just know, which we don't just have to know it. So we simply set our rates, maybe picking a number out of thin air like I did when I first started. And I know like a lot of you have done too. Most times that number is too low. And then we're stuck having to tell our amazing first clients, those people who took a chance on us, that we need them to pay us more money. So in this episode, we talk about reasons that you might need to raise your rates, because there are a lot of valid ones, what you need to do first, when is the right time to raise your rates, and how to handle those rates with your clients. That sounds like a good episode, right? That's number 10. Number 9, getting virtual assistant clients. It's who you know. Of course, all VAs talk about getting clients, and without clients, we have no VA business. So they really are very important. But it's the struggle with getting clients that ends up being the key discussion in a lot of our VA communities. Once again, this is something that nobody taught us, but for some reason we think we should know how to do. How do we know how to do it if we haven't learned it, right? Newsflash, you shouldn't already know it. You have to learn it. And once you do, you're going to have lots of clients, and they're going to be great clients. In this episode, that's what I talk about. Networking is the key to getting real quality clients. That's what I teach. So that's what is in this episode. And I share so much information that you'll definitely be able to pick that one thing to implement right away. Building a great business is about who you know. It really is, but you don't already have to know them. You need to know where to find them, and then you have to become a part of that community that they're already in. And if you're not sure what to say when you're in a networking situation, the answers are in this podcast episode. Number 8 is brilliant business communication for virtual assistants. It's no secret that communication is one of the most important skills to master as a VA. Working virtually, there is a ton of room for confusion. Your client sends you an email, you email back to ask for clarification, you think you understand, you proceed. Maybe it doesn't go the way it's supposed to. Communication is the thing that we really want to get a really good grip on. Oh, and let's not forget that you're doing the same thing with all of your other clients too. So we need to manage how everyone communicates, right? I always got told by my clients that I was very good at the business communication part of it, that I was just very matter of fact. I was very literal. I tell you guys all the time, I'm not a creative person. So things for me are very linear, and I can do that. And so I want to be able to help you do that as well. In that particular episode, the communication episode, we talk about 10 tips to vastly improve your business communication today, and why it's so important to do so. Business communication is a skill that has to be learned, we'd even say mastered, by VAs, and you can do it. Tune into that episode to learn how. Number 7, you are already qualified to be a ridiculously good virtual assistant. Do you think you need to learn how to offer social media services to be a VA? If you do, you're not the only one who comes into our industry thinking something like that. I get questions like that all the time. What services are popular? What do clients want? And while it's not really a terrible question, it is kind of an important thing to know. It really makes it hard for you to start a business. So the way I see it and the way I teach it, as many of you know who listen to me all the time, is that you have enough to learn about setting up your business, running your business, getting clients, managing client expectations. There are so many things that we need to start doing that we've never done before. Why would you want to dump learning a brand new skill on top of that as well? We want to start with what we know. In this episode, I tell you what the biggest complaints clients have about VAs are. You can read them. They're right at the beginning of the episode. And why you already know what services to offer them, the things that you excel at. This one's an important episode, and I think you should definitely check it out if you haven't already. Number 6, choosing a VA niche to work with is easy and necessary. I talk about target market all the time. I know, I'm a broken record. A lot of people also call it a niche. They're not exactly interchangeable terms, but they are close, and it's the same idea. But it is really essential that you get really focused on who you can help best. It's the one thing that's going to make everything in your VA business just easier, more fun, and basically more successful. It's going to work. You have a specialty. If you don't know what that specialty is yet, it's probably just because you haven't done the work to identify what your specialty is. You can do it. I have lots of resources to help you do it. And in this episode, I describe the difference in trying to help everyone and trying to help the people that you're actually best suited to help. The second one, way easier, and it's going to give you the success that you are looking for. Number 5, the truth about billing your VA clients by the hour. Yes, I'm spilling secrets in this episode, how to bill your clients so that they get value and you get paid well. Isn't that really all you want? It's all I want, and lots of your VA colleagues want that too. Billing by the hour doesn't mean trading time for dollars. At least it shouldn't. And I know that a lot of VAs work by the hour. In this episode, I talk about why you do need to consider that working with your time and your work pace. But you don't necessarily have to track every single minute because you're billing it to your clients. And packages are not always the other option. It is the truth, and I'll unravel it here for you in this episode. Number 4 is in-demand services for virtual assistants. Are you curious to know what clients are looking for? I'm sure you are. We already talked about it in one of the other episodes earlier. And this episode is about framing 5 popular services that clients need and value in your business. The key for you is to see which of these you fit into. You might already be doing one of them. In-demand services is a very popular episode, and the reason for that is that we are seeking what we think clients want. But this one is going to be based in what you can do. Just like I've talked about previously, it's so important to work with what you already know how to do. And I can guarantee that what you know how to do is already in one of the 5 services that are included in this episode. You got to check it out. Number 3 is what makes a ridiculously good virtual assistant. When I named my podcast, I wanted to name it something that means something to you, that would describe what you want to be or what you want to achieve by tuning in. But I also say this all the time. I say these words all the time, ridiculously good. When something is ridiculously good, to me, it means that you can't put into words how good it is. That's what I want to teach you to have your clients think of you. It's why I do this podcast, and it's why I teach you guys and coach you guys. I want you to be the best that you can be. In this episode, I give you 10 things to work on right now to up-level yourself and your VA business. You're going to stand out from the crowd, and trust me, your clients will notice. Number 2, create a simple business plan for virtual assistants. Planning is one of the most important things that you can use to get the results that you want in your business. More money, more clients, better time management, better support, better life balance, whatever. When you write it all out, you can definitely visualize it better. But the other thing you can do is see the gaps or the holes in the things that you need help with. You can see your strengths. You can map out the steps that you need to take to get to each milestone that you write down. And in this episode, I share what you should include in your business plan. And I don't think it's as challenging as you think. At least whenever I get VAs to do it, they don't panic over it. They just fill it in and go, oh, I'm stuck here. And that's what we work on. You're going to know when you do this what you still need help with and what you don't need help with, what you've already decided. That's actually kind of liberating too. I think you're farther along than you likely think you are. And the number 1 episode in terms of popularity, in terms of downloads, is how to get out of your comfort zone for virtual assistants. Honestly, this was my first ever podcast episode. It might be bumpy. I don't know. I haven't listened to it in a while. I don't remember. But I'm certain I've gotten better at podcasting since I started. But I love that this one is still being listened to every single week. I think it's really important. Getting out of your comfort zone is essential in business. You have to do a whole lot of things that you've never done before. You have to make decisions. You have to learn a lot. I hope that this episode can point out some of the areas that you can get moving if you're stuck. That's my intention with it. Moving forward is the one thing that you can do in tiny steps every single day to build the VA business that you dream of. So that's 10. But wait, that's not all. I do have a couple of honorable mention episodes as well, because certainly some of the episodes I covered in the top 10 are there because they've been published since 2022 when I first started the podcast. And so, yeah, a lot of people have listened to them. But I have 2 more that I want to highlight as well, because they're some of my most downloaded episodes or most listened to episodes, but they were only published very recently, like in the last couple of months. So that means to me that they are very popular, maybe even more popular than the other 10. Number one is FAQ, 20 questions about starting your VA business. I answer questions every single day in lots of different places about becoming a VA. Many of them are very similar questions, and so I decided to do a podcast episode that you can listen to at your leisure to get the answers that you need from me. It seems to be flying off the shelves. You love it, and I'd love to hear from you if you have a question that was not covered on this FAQ episode so that I can maybe do another one. Let me know. It can be scary to start a business. There is so much to learn, and there's the potential, I guess, to make a lot of mistakes and feel like we could make a lot of mistakes. So if I can help you in any way at all, that's exactly what I'm here for. Say it with me to help you become a ridiculously good virtual assistant. And of course, my other honorable mention, how to find a virtual assistant client in a week. Gee, I wonder why this episode is so popular out of the gate. Finding clients is the number one thing the VAs need help with. And as I've said a couple times earlier today, there are so many reasons for this, but it still often comes down to simply not learning how to do this. We're still talking about Einstein every way we go, right? And in this episode, I talk about the key things you need to focus on in order to create a strategy to actually find clients. Don't be the VA who just waits for inquiries or who spends all day on social media looking around for job posts. Instead, do real things that are going to connect you with real people who could be your clients. So there you have it, my top 10 podcast episodes, plus a couple of bonus ones. I hope you check them all out. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, implement a tip, an idea, a strategy, a plan from each one of them. I promise you that when you focus on what you can do, like real stuff, to be a successful VA, you're going to find that success. I guess this episode is kind of your shortcut to get there. And as Einstein says, don't just learn the facts, but teach your brain to think like a successful VA. You can absolutely do it, and I am here to help. If you need help doing one thing or many things better in your VA business, be sure to get in touch with me. It's the only reason I'm here at all, as I tell you every week, to help you become a ridiculously good virtual assistant. I've helped hundreds of VAs who are stuck get moving, and I would love to do the same thing for you. We can work together privately, through group coaching, private self-study trainings, whatever you need. I really, really want to help you. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I'm going to leave it off here. I will see you next time. Go listen to some podcast episodes. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Ridiculously Good VA Show. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. For more great resources for your VA business, visit my website at yourvamentor.com. I'll see you back here next time.